Live. I think we are live and good to go for today. So excited to be back. I think it's the what 30, 34, 35. Not even sure. It's the yeah 35. So cool stuff. Yesterday we left off with the Weave implementation, which I've implemented async, like just and we actually did not. Which turned out we did not move with Weave, but IPFS through like a Pinata as the provider just made things easier, and so just wanted to show you how this looks. Is the latest implementation. When I click on it, you see this is engraved on IPFS, which is, I think IPFS stands for interoperable. Well, no, sorry, wait, is this interplanetary file system? FS, meaning, yeah, we got it right. When I looked at insurance premium, I was like, I'm not getting wrong. But anyway, we've implemented this, which is a very, very minor thing. Just wanted to have this be done live. What we've shipped is there are many things that are not yet on beta. It's on if you know about software development, So here I'm on local, but I'm on a specific branch which does not have every piece of the latest developments. Here I was working on session management, so we've implemented settings, I think this morning or last night. Purchase history has been implemented. You can download your invoice, for example. Security have just implemented the active sessions, so you'll be able to log out of your sessions if you want to. This has been implemented on a different branch, but we have the developer docs that have been implemented. I think light mode and dark mode, that's already good, and we're implementing the certificates at the moment. So we have a focus on those settings here. That's more on the front-end side or very light back-end work. Then we have the big thing that we worked on is the infrastructure for prod. That means we will go with prod potentially today, if not tomorrow. And we are going to production with the waitlist. So we've implemented the waitlist backend. And the way this is going to look like is something of the sort. Let me share my screen again. It's something like this where you'll have a free trial. Free trial is going to take you to a page where you have your unique, well, not unique, but you'll have a code that's going to enable you to test out the app, and you're not going to have access to a funded account. It's just going to be, if you will, your sandbox. And yeah, that's going to be the product experience for now, and then we'll do a phased rollout. We expect to have a go live on funded accounts within the next 2 weeks, which is much earlier than we thought. But we will start with essentially friends, people that we know from the waitlist, people at Swissborg, at Exborg, that want to use the product. We were doing so because we know in the next 2 weeks there will likely be some bugs. That's to be expected, and so we're fine giving not the best experience, let's say, to some friends, and if that gives us 2 weeks of intense QA, then we can go live with a bigger waitlist. but I want to say, do get on the wait list. You have to get on the wait list if you want to have access to the product early on. Plus, we give 10% off when you first get your challenge. We can actually check the stats. We, in spirit of transparency, we share remotely anything that's relevant to the business. Seed round interest is at 2.5 million. The sale is in about, well, exactly 7 days actually. And the waitlist, since we've implemented the call to action on the website, we're up now to, we're up to 189 signups to the waitlist, which is a good. I think that's a good start. I think we're off to a pretty good start, and obviously this is not led by influencer traffic, or like affiliate traffic. It's the most important job at the moment is to have a deep network of affiliates. But product-wise, this is all I'm gonna say is we've implemented a settings page. We're doing some quality of life improvements throughout the app, like improving the notification system, and the big chunk of work is the prod environment setup. So setting up the infrastructure work, like the CI/CD pipelines, etc. And then it's solving some bugs that we still have on the back end that have been reported by users. And lastly, it's the free trial and some boring setups on the setting up Stripe on admin, well, on Prozer. Sorry, I'm a bit tired just now, but I'm okay. We shall talk about markets now. Gonna pull up this stuff and take BTC. I think, where were we yesterday? Yesterday we've said this is a range, so don't expect much to happen. And I still get some of DMs from people that are telling the challenge. So the challenge is at 100K, 151K. Obviously drawdown, I think peak, and I have to fix this stuff actually. Oh wait, is this fixed? Okay, it looks like it's better now. But yeah, we did. Well, actually, this is wrong. I need to fix this stuff. But we did. Yeah, I need to change this stuff. Anyway, we've said it's a range for multiple different reasons that we've highlighted. There is little, like, risk management can be wider in a bear market than in a bull run. And when you look at, you don't have to be a pro, and I'm definitely not like a pro TA guy. But when I look at the 200-day EMA, which is a very high time frame signal for market being bullish. There's one guy I follow that told me once there's nothing that happens that's good below the 200-day moving average. And I feel like, and I don't have any edge on TradFi, I want to be clear, but I feel like this is a major level. Anytime you break through it, it's a major level as understood by the TradFi guys. There's still a lot of retail in TradFi. And I just do think that this level is meaningful. And I don't think BTC is going to be super resilient if we were to find much lower levels. I did mention on my Telegram, so if you're not on Telegram, you need to my props. If you've blown up a paper trading account, it's in beta now, so it's okay for now. But we will have the pro environment and the free trial. So you'll have one free trial. Maybe we'll have ways to have another one, like multiple. For now, it's just one. And don't hesitate to leave feedback. Anything that adds value will get value back. Like you'll generally get value back. So what I was saying is, little to happen below the 200 days, so we're still short. And anyone that was long, there's a guy I follow that's very good. It's Ina. I believe you can follow him on Telegram. Let me check the channel. Wait, can you actually? Okay, it's an open channel. I don't have the channel description. I don't have the channel description just now, but the guy is usually very, very sharp. And for example, on the 16th of March, he went long. It's probably one of, like, I follow 4 or 5 people in crypto. The rest I don't really have any confidence. But he basically went, wait, which date? The 16th? I did not understand this. That really triggered me on why would you go long on the range highs, and I think for good reasons he was expecting range breakouts, and all of the people that followed him or have the same pattern on, like, yeah, it's a range high. You want to see how much of the OI got built up on this expansion, and if we had any washouts. Something that might be concerning is we don't have any decline in open interest. So that means the positioning that got added around here, all the guys that were looking for breakouts, and I do think a lot of people were looking for breakouts, because the setup to now from like 74, 75 to 8K is valid, and that was a good setup. It's just your typical range breakout. Did not take it for, I would say, more high time frame reasons, and I just felt a lot more comfortable on the short side. And I think any signs to TP, well, actually underwater. So to close the short instead of TP, and then revisit as on an OI wipeout. What happened, for example, there on the last attempt to range breakouts is you had a big drop in OI. Basically, the OI from the OI, for the people that don't know, is the number of contracts open on the perps. So a perp contract is as much like for a long to be open, you need to have a short on the other side. But OI is basically how much leverage is in the system, and here the OI's margin is denominated in BTC. So I'm not really sure what's the Yeah, we're testing this my prox. The question being, I assume that the QA profile area is in the work. We actually haven't implemented funding rates yet. It's a small piece of work, but we'll get to it. So the big thing, I mean, when I look at this, I'm like, every range breakout, you had a big wash in OI, i.e. capitulation from the leverage that got built up. And I think a reason for me to cover shorts would be attempting to go back to the base. That would be a lot healthier. Because as it stands, I'm not sure if the people that, if the folks that tailed now had the same setup, which was a range breakout, did these guys really capitulate? And for example, the spot CVD, what I can tell from here is the spot CVD is not supporting. That means the spot buyers are not entering, and it's going to be very hard for longs to not close, and that's what you want to see for. So TLDR on position here is closing once you have obviously you have short, like a lot of shorts that got built up, but if you look at the funding rates, it's not clear that it's all shorts. And I have a pretty good thesis on why I want to go long pretty soon. And it's directly linked to a tool that we've built internally. And that's around one single metric. So you have to be taking some conferences. But for example, we've notified that around the inflection points of STRC as a product, you have a lot more. Because it's a next dividend product, so that means you can accrue. Well, there's no accrual, so that means you can buy the instrument on the day of the snapshot or like the day before and still get the yield, which makes for some volume ramp up as people get positions into the snapshot, which is exactly what happened on the 12th of March. And then that led up to some buy pressure on the days that lead up to it. And then I think a lot of people were talking about this STRC product, and then people got real excited on the way up here. But the point is, I think there is a pretty good correlation between, if you had bought on the 9th of March, or even the days before, the reflectivity of STRC, I think, is something that the market is going to look into. So my view is that there is a pretty good long setup to take around the next STRC, and our tool is telling you where we are in the cycle, and I think buying in like a week before the next snapshot being on the 11th. When was the last snapshot exactly? Oh, we identified that snapshot day is obviously the one with the highest volume, but you can assume a fair amount of front run. So I think buying like a week or 10 days before, which would mean we would be around here. That is probably that's what, in how many days? 8 days from now. I think there is a good long setup, so probably mid next week you want to be involved, and at least you have a good case to be long, and that's what we will do on the challenge. And honestly, don't have much else. Otherwise, the levels I'm interested in, and one thing I wanted to look for is I think if we were to go into the 60s, 60, 62, and then print a reversal pattern, then I think there is a case to be long, like range lows. But I see how the price action develops. I monitor quite closely. I think bears definitely have the upper hand here, but I think the sentiment flipped quite a bit, and so I'd be willing to be taking longs when we have the OI that's dropping quite a bit. And I would definitely say, and then I close on this, but look for the OI, and until the OI is not dropping, that means the longs haven't capitulated, and it's in a range bound market, very choppy markets, you have to assume that longs will take some pain, and the pain is going to be shown by long liquidations and a drop in OI. That's your clues to say, okay, you've had some pain, I'm exiting that trade, and we'll revisit maybe later. So that is it for me. I go back to work. So thanks for tuning in. That was day 35, and very excited for the prod release on the product. We're getting closer, so it's exciting, and the main target is 10 million in revenue. And obviously, you need the live products and you need the payment gateways, etc. But we're getting closer, so that's very good news. Thanks everyone for tuning in.